Hello there guys, welcome back to the e-bike repairs YouTube channel. My name's Dash and I take apart and I fix very fun and exciting stuff. I've got in this, I bought this bike from a local bike shop who take all sorts of fun things in part exchange, and they say to me, Dash, do you want to buy this? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, fine, whatever. It's a HAIBIKE, something like that. It's on the older side, but it's got a funny battery. So, before I get into that, I popped it out of its case, that thing slid in there. There were 4 screws that went in these holes here, like that. Screws look like that, and they were Torx. Focus, Torx 10. There you go. Torx 10 goes in there. There we go. And then the whole thing just slid out, nice and easy. So, I've got the charger here. The charger doesn't has an indicator light, but it won't come on because the battery's fully charged and also it's unhappy. So if I plug in the charger, can you see it even? Oh, there you go. If I plug the charger in to the charge port, the full and empty lights flash. So F and E. That's obviously indicating that it's somewhat unhappy. Fine. If I give that a moment to chill out, calm down, relax, do its thing, there we go. If I press that, you get the same thing. If I press and hold it, I believe that's it displaying its error code. I don't think I'm going to get it to clear the error code. Press and hold. There you go, you get the full and the one up from empty turn on, and then if you keep holding it, there you go, you can get just the empty to flash. But it always resets to its unhappy state. Now I've measured the pack, I've marked neg and pos and neg. There's neg up here, pos over here, and you'll see it's fully charged at 41.51 volts. Checked all the cell groups are happy. So that 41.5, 41.5, 41.5, 41.5, oh, sorry, 4.15, 4.15, 4.15, 4.15, where's the other one gone? There. 4.09, but you know, that's fine, it's close enough. 4.15. So, all the cell groups are happy. What is not happy is this BMS. Did a bit of looking online, not really anything available on it at all. But what I do have is a gigantic soldering iron. My thoughts are this plus solder sucker. Let's remove the BMS. Just get rid of it. Let's see if removing it and putting it back on makes it work. Might have to add some leaded solder to this to make it work actually. Or my soldering iron tip is ruined. I think it's ruined. Bear with me, I must sand this down. Okay, the soldering iron will actually take solder now, so there we go. I can tin these pins up with a bit of leaded solder, which should make everything quite a bit easier to disassemble. Don't know if I said this is a Yamaha battery, but it is. Okay. Now can I remove the solder? Yep. Must be hot in there, look. I know. The solder sucker is unhappy and full. Where do I even tip this? Over here. Let's try that. Ah, there it goes. Nice and clear again. Hopefully it'll last just long enough for me to do this. That one looks as though it's already lost all its solder, confusingly. It might have. I think it's fallen down underneath it, but that's okay. Maybe I need to not push this down instantly. God, that must be hot. One more. Right, hopefully that's enough for me to be able to peel this little fucker off. Excuse my French, but it's quite annoying. Let's go for a nice metal screwdriver because I like to blow myself up. Some of it's free. Is it screwed down at all? It may be screwed down before I start prying on that. That felt screwed down, didn't it? What's that? That's that. Goes. Getting there. Okay. So a lot of it's loose, but not all of it's loose. What's holding you on? I don't know. That was holding it on somewhat, wasn't it? Something in this area is Definitely holding it down. There might be maybe another screw. Where are the screws? Screws are in line with there. There might be another screw underneath one of these, perhaps. Or is that loose? Is that it loose? It might just be it loose now. Let's see, shall we? Give it a big wiggle. I mean, something certainly feels kind of attached, doesn't it? I think it's just the cables, you know? Let's pop them off. 1, 2. This white one I think is the CAN cable. 3. Now are you loose? Are you free? You feel really close to being free. You're just stuck on this, eh? And if that's just stuck on that. What are you attached to? Something that won't let it pull straight up over here. Let's get rid of these plastic chunks. Doesn't actually look like it's really very held on by anything anymore. Just perhaps. Oh, there you go. Now it really is just this one. A bit of heat. Yay! Freedom! It's off. Okay. What's on the back side? Oh look! A broken resistor. Oh, look. That's quite dead there, isn't it? Okay, so what have we got? We've got, there's a thermistor here. TH302. Certainly is, looks like a temperature, and hopefully that's not broken because that appears to go down into the pack here. There's another thermistor here. I don't think it's broken, I see 2 legs. No, I think they're probably right, but what is broken, I can tell you right now. This resistor here. See if you can zoom in on that. Snap right in half. So that's interesting. What else? Did we see anything else burnt out, broken, unhappy? There's not much here. Little capacitor, little resistor. Resistor, capacitor, resistor. Various resistors don't look blown. Chip with no holes, and all the legs seem attached. That's probably, if that's screwed, we're fucked anyway. We're not going to have a good day anyway. This sort of seems acceptable. Yeah, that might be our problem right there. Now what's that meant to be? I think the best thing for me to, yeah, there's a hot spot on the board there. It's burnt out, but it doesn't look to have burnt through the board. Best thing for me to do will be to desolder this from the board and then piece this together and try and read what that says. I'm assuming it says 101, but I'll try and actually get it together and see. Let's move that out of the way. I'm guessing we're using the world's biggest soldering iron because the other one hasn't heated up. That's way too big. That won't work. No. Turn the big one off. And get a little cordless Ryobi doodad out. Okay. What are these called? Ceramic tweezers. Go for a little bit of flux. Let's see, shall we? What treasures it holds. It's just about heated up enough. It's 1/2. There's the other half. Might as well clean prep these pads while I'm at it. There we go. So, how bad does this hotspot on the board look? Oh, I don't think that's too bad. Let me find something to wipe it with. What a very disgusting cloth. I know it should be isopropyl alcohol and all that, but I'm just looking. So this is the area where it was, between this pad here and this pad here, and there is a hot spot on the board, but I don't think it's done any terrible damage. It just looks as though the resistor got hot and blew. Yeah, probably wants a bit of something applying over that, should be, you know, like solder mask or something. And I'd imagine a new resistor we might be all good. So, let me piece this together, and hopefully I'll cut you back nice and close and we can work out what it is. Okay, right, let's see if I can zoom you in. Focus. There you go, look, 101. Quite clearly says 101. So what I need to do is find one of those, just for a reference of how small a thing we're working with here. Stop sticking to my tweezers. Okay, well, that's the end of my fingernail. I don't have particularly massive hands or anything, but go back to normal zoom. It's really not very big at all. You wouldn't want to be doing this with your fingers. You need tweezers for sure. Now, interestingly, I'd seen another post on the Endosphere about this. Being it was a pull-up or pull-down resistor on the CAN bus line, and yeah, that's where it was. Interesting, isn't it? That's what was causing all the problems. So I'll yeah, source one of these, and we'll go from there. Right. You won't bloody believe this. I'm not going to order any resistors. Look what I've got. I've got a Dali BMS. I chucked it in the scrap. Look what it's full of. Got bloody loads of them. Ha! 101s of the right size. I looked it up. They are a 2512 resistor. 6432 if you go in millimeters. 2512. So 0.25 of an inch by 0.12 of an inch. Pressing things. That's the size. They're the same. Oh, I've dipped the corner of it in flux. They're the same size as these resistors on the top, and so are these. So isn't that convenient? Let's remove one of these from here. See if it works. You never know. Might be a hot air job. Yeah, I can't get both of these hot enough. That'll be a hot air job, that will. Right. Hot air on. Lift it out twice. Go. Just try and not melt everything. Oh, I'm melting everything. I'm melting everything. Got a lot of cables in the way. There we go. A little 101 resistor. Robbed. Stolen. Okay. What I'll do, I'll make sure I haven't cooked it by testing it with my meter. Where are the old ones? Meter set to ohms. (100 ohms). That's exactly the right amount. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so where did it go? It's on that side of the board. There it was there. I'll probably get myself a bit of Kapton tape. To cover up the rest of the board so I don't burn everything. That's it's almost passable, that is, isn't it? It's close to passable. That's what we'll go with. So that's what's that from. Right, hot air going. Flux down there. That's too much flux. That's way too hot. Turn the temperature down a bit. Let's go 300 on the nose. Not turn the airflow down a bit because that was getting awful crispy really fast. Let's see if that's taken. Beautiful job, Dash. Beautiful job, as always. Truly exceptional. It's not on straight. It doesn't matter. This is on. If I measure it again, make sure I haven't cooked it still. Oh, 100 ohms. Okay, I'll clean that up a bit. Where is the isopropyl alcohol? I don't know, but I've got brake cleaner. Okay. Oh, off that goes. I did not put that back in the right place. Let's put it back over there. There we go. So, now we've got a new 100 ohm resistor on the board. It's not beautiful, but I'm not a... it's never what I was any good at. Surface mount components like this. This is big enough that I can work on it. Something like this I think I'd really struggle with. These tiny little ones. But yeah, so that's on there. Put it back together, see if it works, I suppose. I've got my big soldering iron heated up. So there's nothing kicking around on there. What I've got to be mindful of is that these temperature probes go back into where they're supposed to be. There's a little hole there and a little hole there. Oh, I meant to say, just like on the Van Moof battery and the Specialized battery, look, there's one of these fuses. A 30 amp K10A SF fuse is really common on bike stuff. I did check this, it's fine. It's not blown. But yeah, there's all sorts. Didn't know they were all on bikes and stuff. Doesn't really want to go back on. I'm wondering if it's because of that temp sensor again. It is. That's not lined up with the hole. Yeah, that should be. Oh my god! Just throwing things around. As you might be able to tell, I've completely run out of space around here. I'm going to keep that because that could be really useful for other things. Right. Let's try this again. That feels promising. So, how am I going to get these tabs back through? What I probably want to do is... I'm all stuck again. Probably want to do is remove the solder from these first. Or just send it further down. That'll work too. All the other ones are fairly normal sized and should just pop straight through. Should be okay. Right, let's reinstall this one more bloody time. Might need to clean up this entry point. Board there. That could work with a bit of heat. It's going in, that's lining up. That one will line up and that will line up. Now I think I'm just fighting that temp sensor going back in its little hole now. Yep, bit of a squeeze, it'll go in. Okay, so I should be good in terms of lining up and things. think I just heard something very crispy happen. Let me turn my aircon off. Have a listen. There's sparking happening around this positive terminal for some reason. I don't really know why. I don't feel like there should be. Do I pull this back off again and check that that resistor isn't immediately burning out? No, because if it is, I can't, you know, then there's something really inherently wrong with the board and I can't fix it anyway, so let's just... Well, that is taking an awful lot of heat there. But it's gone through, but wow, that takes a lot of heat. Okay, run out of bloody solder. Stick of it. That's passable. It's borderline acceptable. Okay, the board is quite hot. I'm going to give it a minute underneath here, because if there are temp sensors on the board itself, they'll be having a fit because I've just heated it up right to Kingdom Come. But what I wanted to show you was there was a great post on Endless Sphere, Yamaha PAS B2 battery. That's me looking at all this stuff. Post blah 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 blah. Unsoldered the BMS, changed some cells, balanced it up. I found a way to make it work again. I'll give you some hints. This is the way the battery is assembled in the factory. So, pack first, BMS second. It's clear the cells are welded together in the pack before the BMS is installed. BMS must already be programmed and tested before it's installed and soldered in place. There are test points in the BMS, but no needles have ever touched them. I checked on the microscope. All you have is a button and a charger. When you push the button, how long you keep it pushed, until when you keep it pushed. When you plug the charger, how long you let the charger plug, I'll leave to you. It's possible. Factory procedure. There's a simple way of resetting the BMS. I had it unsoldered from the battery pack, totally aside under the microscope. There was a small surface mount resistor on the data line. Pull up or pull down, can't remember. It had been burned and I had to change. So it was on the other side of the BMS PCB, exactly where I was looking. I've got a way to reset it after reconnecting it to the battery pack. I've kept the battery button pressed for a long time while I have plugged the charger and removed for one time. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'll try it. LED patterns have changed 2 or 3 times with button pressed. Apparently, that's what we do. Okay, that's all much cooler now. Let's see what happens. Charger's there. Hopefully all of it's... Are we in frame? Half of it's not in frame. Sorry. How's that? You can sort of see that. So I'm going to press and hold the button for a long time. And then kept the battery button pressed for a long time while I plugged the charger and removed for one time. Okay, it's doing the same thing. Then removed it. And they've changed. It's changed, that's what it was doing before. Then we get that flashing one light. It's the same bloody fault. Oh, I've actually got a stable voltage. No, I don't. Just make sure all these are soldered correctly. 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, 4.1. One. Oh, I've got nothing now. Without the charger plugged in, nothing at all. But with the charger plugged in, I get things now. Who knows what that means? It's not really a way for me to check and see if that resistor burned immediately from looking from here, I don't think. I think I'm a bit going to struggle to see up inside there. Yeah, I'm going to struggle with that. You never know. I'll stick it on the bike, see what happens. I've just remembered there are screws that must go back on. Look, there's one here that I definitely didn't forget. And there's one here that I also definitely didn't forget. Honest.